Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Mike McCarthy gets honest about Cowboys' lack of moves. After having an incredible 2023 NFL regular season, the Dallas Cowboys were able to win the NFC East Division title and secure the second seed in the NFC heading into the NFL playoffs. With the Cowboys set to host the young Green Bay Packers in the first round at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, Dallas was thought to advance easily and give the San Francisco 49ers a run for their money in the postseason while potentially reaching the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, the Packers crushed the Cowboys in Texas and moved on while Dallas had failed to live up to expectations once again. With Dallas getting dominated by the Packers, the consensus was that the Cowboys would make some drastic moves during the NFL offseason, but that didn't turn out to be the case, as the team has stayed relatively quiet in free agency. Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy recently spoke with ESPN's Adam Schefter and tried to explain why the team hasn't made many moves in free agency, via NFL on ESPN. "We're just not part of the free agent market right now," McCarthy said. "There's a lot left. You'll probably have a market right before the draft or post-draft, and then you've got your June 1st market. Obviously, we'll have another draft class. I have great confidence in our roster." Obviously, with the Cowboys' massive fan base, the franchise is always under pressure to improve its roster every offseason. With the Cowboys flaming out of the playoffs as badly as they did, no moves being made was a disappointment for the fans, but McCarthy doesn't seem all that concerned with so much time left in the offseason. Dallas Cowboys fans call for Jerry Jones to sell the team after dismal start to the offseason. It's been nearly 3 decades since the Dallas Cowboys have won anything of note. The former perennial power in the NFL ended this past season in embarrassing fashion yet again. And after an initial free agency period that saw stars such as Tyron Smith walk out the door and little coming back in, Cowboys fans have had enough of team owner Jerry Jones. Dallas area radio host Bob Sturm ramped up calls for Jones to sell the team after the owner said that they couldn't afford to keep Smith in free agency. Jones has repeatedly cited the salary cap as the reason for the organization's inactivity in free agency. But the evidence shows that this isn't the case. The Cowboys had multiple avenues to open up a significant amount of cap space before free agency began. Dallas could have extended quarterback Dak Prescott, who is entering the final year of his contract. The Cowboys could extend and restructure super wide receiver CeeDee Lamb's contract. They could restructure Trayvon Diggs' 5-year contract to convert his base salary into bonus money. Or they could rework any number of several other contracts. But the reality is that Dallas and Jones don't want to do that, as it would eventually come time to pay the piper, and that's where things get sticky for Jones. The salary cap isn't exactly a myth, per se. But it can be manipulated any number of ways if you're willing to pay for it eventually. Jones isn't. He's content-racking in the big bucks with full crowds and non-football events at AT&T Stadium while his team continually falls well short of a Super Bowl victory. And it appears fans have finally had enough. The replies to Sturm's initial tweet showed a plethora of angry fans wanting Jones to either sell the team or stating that he doesn't care about winning. And the evidence suggests they're not wrong. Cowboys could enter free agency race with Steelers for ex-Bengals Wr. The Dallas Cowboys have yet to add a receiver after setting Michael Gallup for release, but one former Cincinnati Bengals Wr is still available. It won't necessarily be cheap, but Tyler Boyd may have the best resume of any free agent receiver still available. The reason Boyd is available is due to his contract demands, more on that below, but it's still surprising that he hasn't come to some form of deal with the Bengals or another team yet. Even in a down year, Boyd was still an important and effective weapon on a Bengals offense that navigated the loss of QB Joe Burrow halfway through the 2023 season. Boyd's 667 yards in 2023 was his lowest total since his second NFL season in 2017. Normally, that kind of regression is concerning, but being able to produce with a backup throwing the ball is encouraging. Boyd plays bigger than his 6'2" frame and is a different enough WR from the likes of CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks that he could have a critical role in the Cowboys' offense. That being said, Dallas' current approach in the market certainly doesn't point toward a big WR signing. In recent weeks, Boyd has been linked to a move to the Pittsburgh Steelers. However, things seemingly cooled down as fast as they heated up due to Boyd's contract demands. According to The Athletic's Mark Kaboly, Pittsburgh doesn't want to meet those numbers. They're trying to wait out Tyler Boyd, Kaboly said on 93.7 The Fan. I'm not quite sure how that's going to end up going down here. I know that he wants to get paid more than they're offering him. That opens the door for Dallas or any other team potentially interested. However, it's not clear what Boyd is asking and what the Steelers' ceiling is. Spotrac estimates that Boyd's market value is around $8.7 million a year, and that a 3-year deal is appropriate. The Cowboys only have about $5 million in cap space right now, but covering the rest wouldn't be much of a challenge. Fans have already seen the team restructure QB Dak Prescott's contract, and a similar move could open up the funds. A second-round pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, Boyd played his college ball at Pittsburgh and hit the field as an RB and a WR. Since arriving in Cincinnati, though, he has developed into an out-and-out possession receiver. Boyd first started to make waves on the national level in 2018. After just 828 total receiving yards in his first 2 seasons, Pro Football Reference shows that Boyd led the Bengals with 1028 and 1046 receiving yards in 2018 and 2019 respectively. The arrival of Ja'Marr Chase and T. Higgins reduced Boyd's role, but he has still been a consistent threat. Over the past 4 seasons, Boyd has averaged 775 receiving yards and 3.8 touchdowns per year. Those aren't mind-melting numbers, but they are reliable and solid. If the Cowboys don't have plans to add a dynamic talent in the draft, going the reliable route with a veteran like Boyd is a safe choice. As the New England Patriots need to rebuild the wide receiver room, Cincinnati Bengals wideout Tyler Boyd remains available. Bleacher Report's David Kenyon suggested Boyd as one of the best fits for the Patriots on Saturday. Boyd had a 4-year, $43 million deal with the Bengals, which expired before free agency. In 8 seasons, Boyd has 513 catches for 6,000 yards and 31 touchdowns. He had 2 1,000-yard seasons in that span from 2018 and 2019, and Boyd averages 64.1 receptions, 750 yards, and 3.9 touchdowns annually. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Tyler Boyd? Leave your opinion in the comments.